What's up, car community? It's your boy Samuel Q50S, the only Q50S in Abuja. Actually, I'm no longer the only Q50S in Abuja. Somebody sent me a blue Q50S right here in Abuja, and yes, I have to drop that title now. Then I will change the title to something like one of the only Q50S in Abuja, because the car is still rare. Anyway, today I'm going to be giving you some tips of inspecting a car when you want to purchase a car for personal use or for business or for resale. I'm going to give you some tips. These are my personal tips. Other people's tips might be different from what I have to say today. So the first process is this: when you see a car online, start pricing it from there. When you see a car you like online, start pricing it from the chart before going to see it. You get why? You understand? Now when you go to see the car, enter the car, check the upholsteries, as the quality of the interior of the car, and see if there are tears, scratches. Now what you want to be doing is identifying faults in the car that you will use to either price the car down or reject the car. You only have two options: reject the car or price the car down based on the faults that you've seen on the car. Now when you check the upholstery and then there are marks on it, price down the car. The next step will be checking for rust. Check under the car for rust. Check the chassis for rust. There are always two options. There are some rust you can deal with, and there are some rust that will put you in BC. Just leave it alone. If the rust is too much, especially when the rust has entered into vital parts of the car, like the mechanical parts, not just the chassis, but the mechanical part of the car, movable part of the car, my brother, leave that car. You understand? Go and look for another car. While you're under the car, also check if the catalytic converter is missing or not. One of the ways to check it is just using something to hit the container of the catalytic converter. Just use something. If it's making noise, then the catalytic converter is missing. But if it looks like there is something welding as well, the catalytic converter is missing as well. Another way to check if a catalytic converter is missing is if it has, when you scan it with your OBD scanner, and it has some sensor problem, oxygen sensor problem. There are codes that indicate that there is a missing oxygen sensor or something malfunction in the oxygen sensor, which means catalytic converter is missing. Now, if it's for me, for most Nigerians, this is a deal breaker for them because it can cause engine misfire. But for me, it is not a deal breaker. However, I can always use it as a bargaining chip to bring down the price of the car. It's not a deal breaker for me because I know how to repair missing catalytic converters in cars. I know how to bypass it and make it properly work, trick the engine to start working properly, because that catalytic converter is actually not part of the mechanical. It doesn't contribute anything to the car. It's just a test, a litmus test for carbon dioxide. It's just a litmus test, to pass inspection. And now in Nigeria we don't have such kind of inspection, like whatever it is that you're emitting meets the CO2 standard of the country or something like that. We don't have that, so there is no need for that thing. Although vehicle manufacturers have made it in such a way that if you don't have that catalytic converter, it can make your engine miscalculate how much air and how much fuel it needs to be pumping out, thereby leading to something like misfire, and ultimately in the long run damaging your engine. That is the simple truth. But for me, it's not a deal breaker because I can always bypass that. Now, the second thing you have to do is open the car bonnet and check the engine. Now, if you're buying a car in Lagos people always clean their engine, they always detail their car, so it's not a bad thing actually. But I like a car that is being cleaned for sale. it makes me happy. But Abuja people don't get that time. They don't wash their car, they don't detail their car, so you shouldn't have any issue with that. What you want to identify is if there is some rigorous repairs on the car, and it's very easy to identify if there were repairs on the car. All you have to do is check if there are cut joint wire, kind of stains. There are stains that a mechanic will leave that cannot be removed again. Check the engine cover, because that engine bay cover is actually very hard to clean, especially those that have rough surface. I think I have only seen one person that was able to clean it properly to the extent that it looks like new, but it's very hard to clean, because as you're cleaning it, instead of the dirt going out, it's taking the dirt from the rag onto its surface. The thing is very annoying. I don't clean my engine cover because of that. I find so many solutions for it, but right now I'm just gonna leave it like that. So check if it's dirty. If it's dirty, check if anything was changed in the car. You understand? And once you check that, you have two options. You either price the car down based on the fault, or you leave the car alone if it's something that you cannot deal with. And the next step will be to check the mechanical parts of the car. Start up the car, crank up the car. Now once the car start up, pay attention to the sound that the car is making. And if it doesn't start properly, like it doesn't start once, then definitely there's some fault that you need to pay attention to, such as bad plug, which you can always repair, but you can always factor it into the price of the car as well, such as bad starter, battery problem. There are a lot of factors that could affect how a car cranks up, but just pay attention to it. This is actually where the mechanic can come into place, because some of them have the technical ability to identify how a car sounds. If a car sounds a certain way, then definitely there's something wrong with the car. They can identify a fault by just the sound of the car.
If anybody asks,
now the next step will be to test drive the car. Slowly rev the car and pay attention to the transmission. Once you put it in gear, notice how the sound changes. If it's normal, then you have a normal car. This is actually where you need a mechanic to listen to the sound of the car. If the transmission is sounding as if it wants to die, my brother, leave that car, or you factor it. If it's a car that can be repaired and the part is readily available, then you can factor the pricing into the car. Now start the car and start driving the car slowly. Listen to the sound, and also listen to rattles on the car. Start speeding the car a little bit and then listen to the rattles, and then pretend as if, or should I say, just climb on a bump and see the sound, how the suspension reacts to the sound, to the stress that you're putting on it. If it's a V6 above, rev it too. If it's a 4 block, be careful how you are revving it so that you don't carry gbese. But if it's a V6 and above, rev it properly. And if the seller says you shouldn't rev it, my brother, you have a problem there, because I don't see any reason why a seller would ask you not to rev a car, especially if it's a Benz. You want to buy a Benz and they're telling you not to rev it. My brother, run. No. Now when you rev it, listen to how the car reacts, how it sounds, and then drive the car for some period, for like 15 minutes. Drive the car. Don't be in a hurry. Sometimes I take up to 24 hours before all the process. Don't even be in a hurry at all, except you want to buy gbese. Now once you have done with that, and then now you are satisfied that this car, you want to buy this car, the next step will be to take the VIN number and check the car history. Go to Carfax. If it's a car that comes from North America, that is Canada, America, other side, go to Carfax and get the car history. It costs like $30 above or $40 depending on the car or what information they have on the car. But I can actually do it for $20. I have a database that I can help you see if I have your car information on the database, car history, and then I'll print it as a PDF for you for only $20. But if you go to Carfax, it's usually $40. Don't go to other sites so that you are seeing cheaper. They will just return normal car information to you. They won't return the history, the repair history, what have been done to the car. If there was an accident on the car, they won't return all those information. So do not go to other sites. Go to Carfax especially. And once you are done with that, then you see the car history. If the car was an accidented car, they'll put the picture there that it's an accidented car, and then you can assess the accident. If it's something that affects the driver's side chassis, you can always assess it and see if it's something you can manage. But me, I will never drive an accidented car again, never in my life, because sometimes it's very, very hard to actually feel the car as if it's a normal car again. It's very hard to feel a car when it becomes accidented. You will feel like you are driving, you will just be getting angry sometimes. Have you driven a car before and then you are going right, the car is going left? Don't even come to me with alignment. You will do alignment tire on an accidented car, especially if it's a frontal accident. So keep that in mind when you are buying an accidented car. Now the next step will be to check the customs paper, and to do this, we used to be able to do this via SMS, but now that program have stopped. I don't know why they stopped it. So now to get the custom information of a car, you have to send your custom papers to a custom officer. It's very, very good that you have a custom officer's number. I have several different custom officers' number, and it doesn't take like more than 30 minutes to get all the information that you need. They will tell you if the custom paper is fake or if it's not fully paid. If it's fake, drop that car. Don't buy it at all. If you don't want to enter trouble, don't buy it. If it's not fully paid, you have two options. If you are not driving interstate, then you can buy it. But if you are driving interstate, I would advise it's either you pay it fully, pay the duty fully, or don't drive interstate at all. That is the two options that you have. And then you can factor in the fault into the price of the car as well. I think that's about all you need to check on a car when you are buying a car in Nigeria. For the first time, especially if you don't know about car engines and transmissions, those are the two most important, or those are the faults that are very hard to identify. Even if you scan it, there are some things you can overlook when you don't know how to identify the sound of a car, what is wrong with the car when it's sounding somehow. So I would advise using a mechanic for that. But beware of the kind of mechanic that you want to use, though, because some mechanic now, they are only concerned about what is inside their pockets. So when they get there, what they do is they will start be looking at the seller's eye. If seller say, "Oh yeah, let us dagbo this guy," they will dagbo you, and then mechanic will take his own share. You understand? So it must be somebody that you trust, a trusted individual. You understand? Now that is all that you need to check when buying a car. When you buy the car, call me. Let me help you pimp it up. I have several different things to pimp it up with. If it's a fast car, bring it, let me tune it for you and make it even faster, make it raw. You see the way my own raw, huh? I'll make it like that. So that is all you need to know about inspecting a car. I'll see you guys later.